Good morning. Is that okay? Good. I just need to hold it a little closer. My name is John Hosteller, and I come to you today from Posey County, which is the very southwestmost county of the state. A little bit about my background is I am a graduate of the Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology in 1983 with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. After school, I went to work for the mechanical contractor at the Marble Hill Nuclear Generating Facilities construction site. After the government closed down the construction of Marble Hill, I went to work for an oil field logging firm and was an oil field logging engineer. Moved from that when a spot opened up at Southern Indiana Gas and Electric Company, now Vectren, to be a performance engineer at the Warwick Power Plant, where I oversaw the thermodynamic efficiencies of the various plants there. That was before I moved into the political field. But I am married. My wife Beth and I have 4 children, Matthew, Amanda, Jacqueline, and Jared. In 1992, after the election of Bill Clinton, Beth and I had 3 children. And we've since been blessed with a 4th, Jared. But at that time, after the election of Bill Clinton, we decided that we were going to have to get much more politically involved than we'd ever been. I had never been to a Lincoln Day dinner. I had never been a precinct committee person. The sum total of my partisan political activity was to vote in Republican primaries. But after President Clinton took office and started on his legislative initiatives, and the government began to go in a direction that was very detrimental, we believe, to the future of our children, we decided to get involved, and I ran for Congress, having never run for public office before. Ran in the 8th District in a 6-person primary, emerged from that primary victorious, and went on to defeat a 6-term incumbent in November of 1994. I have never served in the United States military, and in the United States House of Representatives, served as a member of the House Armed Services Committee for my entire 12 years, where we directed national defense policy and worked on procuring for our military the tools that they need to fight and win America's military conflicts. I got involved in the political process in 1994 because, as I mentioned, I was very concerned about the direction that our federal government was going in. And after losing an election for my 7th term in 2006, went back to Blairsville and was very happy in my life there, and wrote a book, started a little publishing company to publish it, and was in the process of working on developing a small think tank to continue to put forward issues from a conservative perspective, especially a perspective based on the Constitution, more specifically based on the Federalist Papers. Basically, you've probably all seen the bracelets, WWJD. Well, Publius Forum was going to be that organization that would say WWJMD, what would James Madison do? Because it's vitally important that when we talk about these issues, that we put them in the context of the Constitution and the context of the legislative intent from the very beginning of the founding of our country. Because without that standard, we deviate from those principles that the founders established when they said, "We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union." They went on to say that they established this Constitution to secure the blessings of liberty for themselves and their posterity. We have deviated greatly from that blueprint, if you will, from that standard. If we do not return to that standard, if we do not return the federal government back to its constitutional constraints, then we will continue to grow the federal government. We will continue to amass huge annual deficits, accumulating in a debt that ultimately crushes our economy and, more importantly, our children's dreams, our children's future. And so that is why I've gotten back into this race, because just as in 1994, when my congressman at that time in the 8th District of Indiana was very supportive of the liberal political agenda of then-President Bill Clinton, Evan Bayh has been there every step of the way to support the liberal agenda of President Barack Obama. And therefore, Evan Bayh needs to be replaced. And in early December of 2009, I decided to attempt to take that on. and which brings me here today, and I look forward to your questions. I am likewise a born-again believer. I accepted Christ at the age of 7 as a result of at a Bill Glass crusade held in Evansville, Indiana. And since that time, filled with the Holy Spirit, I have sought to emulate the life of Christ in all that I do, including this ministry of running for public office, to which, as Paul told Timothy, to which I've been called for this particular time. So I look forward to your questions, and look forward to engaging you even after this formal event. Thank you.
Marlene, I see on your sign here, you worked in a nuclear power plant?
I worked on the construction.
Oh, I was going to say, you weren't a homosexual.
No. No, we didn't get that far.
All right, Marlon.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you this morning, and thanks for coming out. And I appreciate your time and looking forward to the questions. A little bit about myself. I grew up on a family farm up in LaGrange County, right near Shipshewana, in a little town called Howe. I grew up across the street from Howe Military School, and wonderful opportunity to be raised on a farm. I grew up in a conservative Mennonite home, and was saved when I was 12 years old. And then I went wild and married a Baptist girl, and my wife Christy's here with me this morning. And we have 2 young sons, Peyton and Preston, and they are actually over at a friend's house playing and getting a break from the campaign trail. Growing up on a farm, never had any intention of ever getting into politics. I worked with my dad and my brothers, brother-in-law, and several employees that we have there. Started a small trucking company, and I wanted to be in business, and that was the intent of both Christy and I. We had our firstborn son in 2001. We were in Florida, all excited about being new parents, everything that was in front of us, and wanted to take those challenges on in business and being a new dad. And one morning, my dad called and said he needed to turn on the TV, so we ran out to the living room at Christy's grandmother's house, and we turned on the TV to watch the terrorist attack us on 9/11. And I know that it changed all of our lives that day. We all remember where we were at. And I'm sitting there holding Peyton in my arms thinking, this little boy has his whole life in front of him. With all these changes in the last 50 years in our country, what are the next 50 years going to bring for our country? And I felt a great responsibility at that time to somehow make a difference. To make a difference for my son, to make a difference for our community, to make a difference for our state. And so I got involved in Christy, I got involved in the local Republican Party in LaGrange County, and never been involved in politics, had no intentions, and they were looking for a state rep candidate to run. And the one night a judge's wife came up to me and said, well, why don't you run? I said, I've never even been in politics. I wasn't a political science major. I actually went to Tri-State University, now Trine University, studied accounting and business, still trying to finish. And said, I have no intentions of going into politics. I'm not even sure what I would be getting myself into. I said, can I have some time to think about it? And they said, well, sure. You have till tomorrow at noon. And so we went home, talked about it, prayed about it, and found ourselves driving to Indianapolis to file to run for state representative. And it was a great experience for us. We campaigned. We got to meet so many people of like-minded. That's one thing that I have learned, is that when you get out and you start talking to other people, you find out that we have so many similarities. We have the same hopes and dreams for our country because we are the greatest country in the world. America is the greatest country in the world because of our Constitution and because of the people that live here. And I believe that that is why we're here this morning, because we want to continue to pass on the greatest country in the world to our kids and to our grandchildren. Did not serve in the United States military, but served as the chairman of Public Policy and Veteran Affairs in the State House, where we passed the first Military Family Relief Fund, and that goes to help and support families when their loved ones go off to war, to just give them some sort of support in those difficult times. And then also co-authored the Purple Heart Memorial Highway, honoring our veterans. And it's such an honor. And I'm so thankful for those men and women who are willing to put their lives on the line to serve our great country. That's what makes America great.